This edition of the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift for remembrance to make you laugh and cry at the same time? Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms. Make sure you take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Also, check out the MikeWagnerShow.com. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter today at the Mike Wagner Show. Check out the cool merchandise 24/7, 365 at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Amazon.com at the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, and a lot of goodies. They're great gifts for family and friends and more. And if you want more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mian Mohsen Zia store and check out Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also cool t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and a lot more. Make sure you check it out. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Anchor FM/support and PayPal at the Mike Wagner Show or Mike Wagner voiceover. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a producer, writer and director who's currently in New Jersey right now and began his career in New York City on stage. And he also wrote and directed for New York University College of Nursing, also with a number of clients like esteelauder and Signature Healthcare and the Center for Talent and also Innovation and also Spectra Capital Corporation. And he worked with various New York City production houses and including also working with Matthew Marshall, Casey Clark, Pat Golden, and Jason Wynn, and a lot more. And he also recently launched Sparky Boom Productions, and his latest film, which we'll be talking about in just a minute, features some real powerhouses like Stephaniekurtzuba from The Irishman and The Wolf of Wall Street, and also Davidtriacca from The Equalizer, Law and Order, and also recipient of multiple awards about a grief-stricken father's commitment to avenge his son's death. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown New Jersey, the amazing producer, writer, and director talking about the movie Paps Manifesto, Chris Danuser. Chris, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Wow, you made me sound really fancy there.
Well, you're a fancy guy. That's the thing. I mean, look at all the accomplishments you've done. It's amazing. I mean, you started in the New York stage, in New York City. It's like, I'd be too hesitant to do that. You also wrote and directed for New York College of Nursing. You worked with amazing clients like esteelauder, Signature Healthcare, and more. You worked with various New York City production houses and worked with Matthew Marshall, Casey Clark, Pat Golden, and more. And you also launched Sparky Boom Productions, and your newest film, Paps Manifesto, features Stephaniekurtzuba from The Irishman and The Wolf of Wall Street. Also, Davidtriacca from Equalizer, Law and Order, and you also recipient of multiple awards. And before getting to all that, Chris, tell us how you first got started.
Wow. I got started performing in my small town of Milledgeville, Georgia. It's in the center of the state, right next to Macon, Georgia. And I was at 9 years old, I was a band member of Kiss and of the Bee Gees.
Huh.
If you would have asked me that, I was definitely a band member of them. But what it really was is I put together some lip syncing concerts for my entire school. And, it's like with the Kiss thing, we did our own makeup. We designed our guitars and had our parents design the clothing, wearing wigs and things like that. And I literally can remember being on stage, lip syncing with sparklers flying and things like that. And looking out at my peers and just was mesmerized by how they were mesmerized by me.
Wow.
And it gave me some kind of weird energy. It was, I guess, a flood of endorphins. I didn't know what it was at that time, but I was hooked. So
I bet you Gene Simmons was probably like,
yeah, he spit blood at me. Yeah. Oh, we even had Gene Simmons in our concert actually spit blood. So we were really authentic. We really believed our own story, our own greatness, so to speak. But we did another concert with another band, the Bee Gees, and I, as I grew up a little older, I realized that I put that stuff together. Whether I wanted to or not, I kind of became the producer and the director of that stuff at 9 years old. And I grew up in that small town where the arts is not at all a focus in the culture. What it is down there is sports, particularly football.
Mm-hmm.
So, while I was 9 years old, I was doing all those sports and, recreational leagues. And then I just, graduated into high school sports and forgot about performing and the arts until, I moved to New York City. So that's where it all started. I had this these urges to create again, you know, and investigate the human condition. So I was pulled that way once again.
And how'd you get pulled into that like second time around? I know the first time it was that moment that you were playing Kiss and you're mesmerized. That was the one thing you really want to do. But describe about the second time, you know, about the moment leading up to and saying, this is what I really want to do, like the second time around.
Yeah. You know, I watched a movie one time, and for the life of me, I can't oh, yes. All right. Can't believe I forgot this. I
happens to the best of us. Don't worry.
Yeah. You're gonna kill me when I say it. You may, oh, you silly. So I watched East of Eden with James Dean.
Nice. That's a really good film. I love it. Yes.
Yeah. And then watched Rebel Without a Cause by James Dean. Or he was starring in it. And then Citizen Kane. Believe it or not, I watched all of those films in one day with a friend of mine. That was back when Blockbuster was in its heyday, so we were able to get, you know, VHS tapes.
Yes.
I can remember with each of those films, each gave me more of a rush than the one before. And I was probably 18 at the time, and I just had that same urge, those same endorphins that were just flooding my body when I was 9. And I just thought to myself, there is something to this. I am very attracted to storytelling. So I believe I can probably pinpoint that moment that got me on the road to what I'm doing now. And it was, you know, I was 17 or 18 years old at that time.
Huh. That's really interesting. You talked about storytelling being your favorite and how it's becoming like, you know, a strength of yours, and especially the movies. Like, who are some of your favorite authors, writers, and especially storytellers growing up?
So I really, because I am one, I really love screenwriters that are also filmmakers, you know, that direct their own work. I think that's important to me. It's not traditionally that way, but I think that it's become more and more accepted in the industry. So I've always liked the screenwriting of Paul Schrader. If you recall, he wrote Taxi Driver when he was a bit younger, and he recently wrote First Reformed that starred Ethan Hawke. That is a fantastic film that really influenced my latest film, Pap's Manifesto. I also love Paul Thomas Anderson. He did The Master, There Will Be Blood, Hard Eight, Boogie Nights, you know, and my favorite film, Magnolia. He's a writer and filmmaker, and he is nearly all of his films to me are masterpieces. But you know, the coolest thing about Paul Thomas Anderson is that he's married to Maya Rudolph, you know, one of the most important comedians in my generation. She started out with SNL, and she's just fantastic. So I think his choice in spouses is really cool as well. Kind of a new guy on the scene is Barry Jenkins. He did Moonlight, which won an Oscar, I believe, several years ago. And right now on Netflix, I believe he has a 10-part series called The Underground Railroad that is really a very raw and sometimes hard to watch, but very important film about enslaved people and the history of America during that time.
Wow.
He's a fantastic writer and filmmaker. even guys like Jeff Nichols. Jeff Nichols is a Southern Gothic film maker for the most part. Most of his stories that I've seen have been of the Southern Gothic genre, and I would like to think that I too write and make films that are in that genre. He did a movie called Loving not too long ago that got a lot of attention, and one of his first films was it included one of my favorite actors, Michael Shannon, but one of his first films that really moved me, Jeff Nichols, was Take Shelter. Take Shelter is a fantastic. Definitely check that out.
Okay, we certainly will. And in terms of you talk about Southern Gothic, how does that differ from your typical Gothic?
Well, it's based in the South. That was kind of a joke. In literary terms, you can look at it, in that way. It was a thing before really film blew up in a sense. But Southern Gothic, if you look at the literary works of William Faulkner and Flannery O'Connor, Southern Gothic is based in, the southern parts of the United States. It, shines a light on some of the dark elements of humanity. Everything looks rather pleasing on the surface, but when you dig down deep, you uncover, some pretty frightening things about some humans. And so it's, Southern Gothic is, primarily, in my experience, are, themes like that, themes like rage, racism, really dysfunctional families that tend to hide things. Mm-hmm. Some of those movies you might remember, Night of the Hunter. So very old. I think it was done in the 50s. It scared me to death, and it was not a horror film or anything like that, but it was the tone of it and the pacing of it. Certainly was frightening, and it's frightening today. Other movies like what's the movie? Deliverance.
Bum 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 bum.
No. Yep. Go ahead, let's do it. I can do that on the piccolo. No, I'm kidding. There are other movies. Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke.
That's right. I think I remember seeing that one. That was in the 80s. That was Mickey Rourke, and I think that was Lisa Bonet from The Cosby Show, and that was like her first role. That was outside the Cosby Show. I remember that, and I think that's like her breakthrough in terms of getting away from the typecasting of being the Cosby daughter, the good girl, and everything else, and just kind of like really expanded her roles and availability and just everything else and who she is today or back at the time. And I'm like, wow, that was something.
Yeah, you are freezing.
Okay, well, we can still continue as well, too, and it's not going to stop us, and it's not Gothic or anything like that, but, continue out the Mike Wagner Show with Chris Danuser here. We talked about Southern Gothic, and this made me think of some questions. I think about some of the things like with, like the European Gothic, and of course, got the Northern Gothic thing about the Amityville Horror, and of course, Salem Witches, that type of Gothic, and how intense do you think it is that Southern Gothic compares like, up north or like, say, in Europe and other parts of the country?
Well, me being from the South plays a large role in my prejudice on that. Even though I left the Georgia, my hometown, when I was 19, I can't get it out of my blood. Okay. There is a romanticism that I have with it in a weird way. I believe, all Gothic, whatever the region is, the themes are still the same, again, it's the human condition, and telling stories about the human condition. What I believe is different with Southern Gothic is that the South has a very tumultuous history. And that combined with some very interesting characters. Now, if you ever travel through the South, you'll know what I mean. They're just I've never seen characters that are worthy of writing about like I have in the South. And I've been all over the world. Mm-hmm. So I think that those are interesting displays of humans. And then you put them in these situations that can be, it could be bizarre. It could be fantastical. It could be mystical. Mm-hmm. It could be just a straight narrative piece. But there's always going to be a tone behind it and a pacing behind it that just engages me.
That is rather fascinating. I never thought about the levels of Gothic. It was just one, but I'm glad you cleared that up. And just a couple more things before we talk about Pap's Manifesto and some of your other works. Who are some other favorite actors and directors and movies growing up? Who are some of your others?
Well, there's most definitely was James Dean and Marlon Brando. I became a huge Marlon Brando fan after James Dean. And it turns out I found out that Marlon influenced James Dean. In a lot of ways, James Dean ripped Marlon Brando off with his style. And back in those days, there was a style of acting. It is much more about delivering the information versus these days it's about realism, and making people feel, literally get on the train of the story and just follow it. Like I said before, I really like Michael Shannon. He was in Boardwalk Empire. When he was alive, I loved Philip Seymour Hoffman. He did Capote and did The Master, which is a Paul Thomas Anderson film. Can you see how there's a thread of talent that rolls through all of my influences?
Yes, it does. And I can imagine Marlon Brando saying to Jimmy, "Why, Jimmy, why do you have to crash like that? Why, Jimmy, why? Why you have to do that?"
Yeah. Okay. That was good.
Yeah. So it's just like, I can imagine the theme to it. It's what we're thinking about. So
yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. You actors. I love Mahershala Ali. He's an Academy Award winner. He was in the 3rd season of True Detective. Mm-hmm. Another Southern Gothic series based out of Louisiana, especially if no one has seen the 1st season of True Detective. It is a absolute must, especially if you want to get more accustomed with the genre of Southern Gothic. That has Matthew McConaughey and I can't remember the other guy's name. I also think that Robert Duvall can't go wrong. In fact, he's played a lot of Southern characters, Mike. And it wasn't until maybe 5 years ago that I discovered he was from Brooklyn.
Really? Robert Duvall from Brooklyn. I remember Robert Duvall being in a couple of films, that was Southern, but I'm trying to think which ones was it. It's like I've seen him. It's like right now it's not registering at this point, but I'm sure it'll come up later as well, too. And in the meantime, we'll talk about perhaps Manifesto, some of your experience, also another work you did. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Box, where remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. Who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift for remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? What if a gift for Grandma's recipes or just because? Those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at Picture This Photo Box at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobox.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Box, bringing memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com and over 30 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. Check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at the MikeWagnerShow.com and also on Amazon.com at the Mike Wagner Show podcast and more. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Me and Molson-Zia store for great books, merchandise, and more. And also, don't forget to support us on Anchor FM, PayPal at the Mike Wagner Show or Mike Wagner Voiceover, and also support us at MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you donate generously today. We're here with a terrific producer, writer, and director from Georgia, out in New Jersey right now, Chris Danuser, here on the Mike Wagner Show, and talked about how his amazing career, how he got started and everything else, and how he got on stage in acting as well. And not only we'll be talking about Pap's Manifesto, you also did a movie called Alice Underground, but first you also worked in some various production houses. You worked with Signature Healthcare, College of Nursing, esteelauder, and more. Maybe some of the clients who worked in, some of the great people he worked with, like say Matthew Marshall, Casey Clark, Pat Golden, and more.
Yeah. Before I started my production company, I was writing primarily for corporations that needed narrative screenplay type productions to to display their products. For instance, with the Signature, they needed to train certified nursing assistants, and they didn't want to just do it with a manual, a big thick manual, and just slide it across the desk and say, here, come see us in a week and you can take the test. They reached out to we got time to do that nowadays. Right. Well, they also found that even though these applicants pass a test, they would go to the job and experience some of the really tough things that happen as a nursing assistant, especially in nursing homes, which was our target. And they discovered that there was a revolving door, that these applicants who are certified could not take the day-to-day job. And so what they wanted to do was, in order to just kind of weed through a lot of the applicants, they wanted our production company to scare them.
Ooh.
To be honest with what their job entails. So, yeah.
That's a rather interesting approach. It almost sounds like some of the filmmaking that's put in Southern Gothic. It's like, this is what happens when you encounter this patient, and this is what's going to happen if I give them the wrong dose, and this is what's going to happen if you don't do your job.
You got it, Mike. You could go and pitch that idea to other companies. That you've got it. That's exactly how it is. We created a series of stories, probably 100 hours worth of storytelling that was presented in a huge package online, and got a lot of great response to it from the company, from the certified nursing assistants. Gave us a lot of feedback, but it was really fun because we were able to take a spin on things. We were able to, again, frighten people in a way that had never been done before, as far as I know. It wasn't just all, go in and change sheets and go in and do sponge baths, but it was things that were much, much worse than that. So it was really fun to write.
That is very interesting. We hope we don't discourage all the nursing assistants out there who are listening to the Mike Wagner Show to get out of nursing and do so. I mean, that was just a very fascinating approach, and this kind of led into a number of projects as well, too. And you also did Alice Underground as well, too. And tell us more about that.
Yeah, Alice Underground was a short film that I acted in pretty much when I first came to New York to act. And what was interesting about that is that it was so long ago that it was state of the art in that it was stop motion realism. You see it a lot now in dream sequences and things, but this entire film, which was about 15 minutes, consisted of that. So it was an experimental film, and it won some experimental film festivals in New York and got official selections and many more. That was a lot of fun. I still have relationships with the filmmakers that did that. The cinematographer that did it, again, he was very creative. In fact, in that he created this very interesting way of moving the human body through a series of photographs. So yeah, that was what was very cool about that is that got me, it gave me some confidence, as this young man coming to the big city, studying acting, and that, my goodness, these people actually want to hire me. Oh, well, maybe I should continue to do this.
Wow. That is something as well, too. And we'll talk about Pabst Manifesto in just a minute, the recipient of multiple awards, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at soundwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Also brought to you by a picture of this photo book. So remembering is a key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. We'll be back with producer, writer, director of Pabst Manifesto, Chris Danuser, after this time out. This edition of The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionsea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We're back with the amazing producer, writer, and director, Chris Danuser of Paps Manifesto here on the Mike Wagner Show, and talked about a lot of his experience, especially with his production company, also New York, College of Nursing and Alice Underground. And here's your baby you've been talking about, Paps Manifesto, which has gotten a recipient of multiple awards about grief-stricken fathers and commitment to avenge his son's death, and also starred Stephaniekurtzuba of The Irishman and Wolf of Wall Street, and also davidtriacca of The Equalizer and Law and Order. And tell us more about Paps Manifesto and how that first came about.
Yeah, Paps Manifesto is a short film, around 25 minutes. It's about the day in the life of a domestic terrorist and his 8-year-old granddaughter. So it's, needless to say, it's a little bit timely. It involves things like grief and PTSD, hurt, healing, redemption. I think most importantly, fundamentally, it is about grace. And it could be grace, a secular grace, which is, it's something that's not necessarily deserved or asked for, but it's something that happens fast in someone's life. In religious terms, it's like divine intervention, right? So this domestic terrorist is going one way in his life, and there is divine intervention, and it shakes him up, and he goes another way. So it's a story. Our tagline is hurt, hate, hope. It's a story about a guy seeking revenge after the death of his son, who is a Marine, in Afghanistan. And it takes place in one day, and there are many twists that happen that keeps his journey flowing. And I got started writing the story, Mike, in around 2014, believe it or not.
Wow.
And we did some table reads. We did some editing. I went back and polished it up many, many times. The script I'm talking about. And we were finally able to raise the money to actually do this film. And a lot of people really worked for free or very cheap. And we're super happy with how it turned out. It's an amazing looking film. I think the acting is some of the best I've ever seen. That includes James Dean. And, I'm humbled. I'm humbled at the success that it has had. It's my production company's first narrative film.
Wow.
One that I wrote, eventually co-wrote and co-directed. But I've got to say, it's on the film festival circuit right now. It's been on it for 4 or 5 months. We have approximately 8 wins as Best Picture or Best Actor or Best Actress.
Nice.
Many awards of excellence. We're semifinalists in some festivals that are Academy Award qualification festivals, which is just blows my mind. We are screening right now in some of those very large festivals. So we are super beside ourselves. But I think that the subject matter is perfect for our times, and I believe that that's why a lot of people are responding so well to it.
Mm-hmm. And what's the message you want to basically convey to the viewers out there about the movie Papst Manifesto? What do you want them to come out of the film, or come away with, I should say?
Yeah, I want them to come away with the fact that, humans all have gray areas, right? No one is this, no one is that. No one, is one political stance or the other. We all have gray areas, and we all have backstories. We all have histories. Mm-hmm. Those histories they consist of choices that individuals make. And I want the viewer to follow this lead character, who is an anti-hero, to say the least, mm-hmm. with his mission to commit domestic terrorism. But I want them to walk away saying, hey, wow, this guy was really hurting. This guy is suffering from severe grief. He's suffering from PTSD. He's not making very good decisions, but he's also, he's making terrible decisions, but he's also a loving grandfather. He's also a loving husband who recently lost his wife as well as his son.
Oh, wow.
We all have elements that kind of go along a spectrum, There's very, very positive things about our existence, and there are super negative things about our existence. But one thing that I can say is that when people watch the film, whether they are fortunate enough to watch it in a theater these days, they're all experiencing the same thing. They all see a portion of themselves within these characters, a portion of themselves, even within someone who would be a domestic terrorist. So I think that it's a really risky, so to speak, story, but it's affecting people the way that I like to tell stories. So again, we're very humbled with the reception that it's getting, but that's what I'm after we talk with people who have seen it, that's what they're reporting back, is that, the humanity of this guy, that on paper, you don't want to follow him. You don't want to have anything to do with him. So, it's a very objective way of telling a story that is brutal.
Mm-hmm. And brutally honest. And I got to say this, I'm just moved by the way you described it. I mean, wow, that is something. And where can we find Papst Manifesto, Alice Underground, and all your works at, Chris?
Yeah, so you can find Papst Manifesto. The website is papsmanifestofilm.com. You can contact me through that website. And if you're interested, you can, I'll send you a copy of the film to watch. I can also send out the trailer for the film. Because it's in the circuits right now, I can't really say certain things about where it is being broadcast, just for particular legal reasons with the festivals. But primarily, I think that papsmanifestofilm.com is the best way to view it at this point. You could also follow me at Paps Manifesto Film on Instagram and contact me that way. The film also has a Facebook page. Love to have you guys follow us on that. That is Mayflower, like the boat. Mayflower is the name of that page. So yeah, I would love for people to follow us, and I'm happy to speak with people about the film.
We certainly will do so. We're here with producer, writer, director Chris Danuser, Paps Manifesto on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more minutes. Chris, you've been absolutely amazing, and thank you for your time. Love to have you back soon. And what else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Chris?
Wow. Thank you, Mike. We have 3 projects in development right now in order to pitch for television. Television series on the streaming networks, and also a podcast that we're working on. It's a narrative podcast, a nonfiction podcast. Interesting enough, we're developing this Paps Manifesto short into a television series that we would like to pitch to those who are in position to purchase something like that from us, from the streaming services. So we're working really, really diligently on developing those projects. So it's very exciting over here.
That sounds exciting, and definitely looking forward to it, Chris. I mean, you've got some great stuff out there. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
Oh, wow. Without sounding too sappy, Mike, it's got to be my wife. My wife.
That's common.
Also...
And that's a good thing too. That's the best. They're always the best.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's truthful. We've been married for 100,000 years.
Congratulations. 100,001 more.
Okay. And have 2 children. But I will say that my wife is also an executive producer with the production company. Nice. So we do work pretty close together, and it's been pretty, sustainable. But if you've ever heard of the word muse, she is my muse.
That's fascinating. I love it, love it, love it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Well, as a writer, which I consider myself primarily, I would say write. Force yourself to write every day, because it's muscle memory. It's just the more you write, the more information comes to you. So I would say no excuses. Right. And by the way, I'm talking to myself there as well, because it's very difficult. But I would say definitely do your writing, and definitely have people who are within the industry, if you know anyone, and to read your material, and to be super honest with you. Super honest, because you can give your material to loved ones and friends, and they're not going to be honest with you, and they probably don't know how to read a script, So I would say write. And when you feel like it's worthy of someone's eyes looking over it, please get it out to someone, because they will give you some really good pointers. And when you get those pointers, take them humbly.
That's a very good point. I love it. I mean, this is terrific. Learned a lot from you, Chris. Once again, producer, writer, director, Chris Danuser of Past Manifesto here on the Mike Wagner Show. Chris, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. Just keep us up to date, keep in touch, and looking forward to having you back on. And before we go, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people purchase or just check out your works?
Yeah, so again, my website right now is for the film. It's papsmanifestofilm.com. Facebook page is Mayflower. The Instagram handle is Papsmanifesto Film. And we're working on 3 pretty fantastic projects right now. Hopefully, some people will be able to see those in the new year. We're just gonna enjoy these film festivals that we're circulating in. Soon, hopefully, we'll be able to do it in person, in full theaters, and not online.
Everybody's like, come on, what are you in our living room and perform for us? I know that feeling.
Right.
Oh, you got some great stuff. Once again, Chris, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date, keep in touch, and looking forward to having you back on. And I wish you all the best, and you've been very terrific.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Picture this photo books, where remembering is the key ingredient. Preserving memories, keeping the memories of your loved ones alive as they reach in and touch your heart. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whether it's a gift of past holidays, grandma's recipes, long ago moments, or just because. Those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809. Once again, that's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotobooks.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.